Aux États-Unis, cet oligopole a abouti à une situation ubuesque et tragique. En 10 ans, le prix de l'insuline a été multiplié par 10. Alors qu'un dixième de la population est diabétique, certains malades ne peuvent plus se payer cette hormone vitale. Même en souscrivant des assurances privées hors de prix.
I pay a $260 premium a month. That's just to have the right to say I have insurance. And my deductible is $14,000, which means I would have to pay for my insulin and for my doctor's visits and my other medical supplies out of pocket until I reach that $14,000 mark before they'll help me pay for my insulin. And not many people can afford to pay an extra $14,000 out of their income every year. It's almost impossible for my husband and I. Right now, my insulin comes from my doctor, and it comes from my friends. My mom has friends that are also like maybe type 2 diabetic, and they have an excess of insulin that they don't use, so they've been kind enough to give that insulin to me. And my doctor, when he has patients that pass away, which has unfortunately happened recently, he gave me over a year's supply of insulin. So thankfully, I won't be paying that money right now because it would have been catastrophic for me if I would have had to pay the money for the insulin every month.
What happens when you cannot manage to get free insulin?
I really don't know. Sorry. I really, that's the thing I've been fortunate not to have to experience yet. But it does sit in the back of my mind.
Well, this is way better than hiking from down there, right?
My name is Elizabeth, and I'm the founder of T1 International. We're a diabetes advocacy organization that takes no funding from pharmaceutical companies, and we advocate for everybody with type 1 diabetes, specifically access to the things that we need to survive. This company right behind me has raised the price of their insulin over 1,000%. And we believe that access to insulin is a human right. This is a global problem. People are dying in every corner of the world. People are dying here in the United States of America, what's supposed to be the wealthiest country in the world with supposedly the best healthcare system in the world. This is not the way that it should be. This company is putting profits over people, and we're here to say that that is not okay and that something needs to be done about it. Medicines for people, not for profits! One more time. Medicines for people, not for profits!
It truly is a crisis. People are rationing their insulin, so they're taking less than they should take or trying to not take any. They're trying to adjust their diet and their insulin intake, and this is so dangerous. People are dying because of that, and they're cutting years off their life because they just simply can't afford it.
My husband and I don't, in our future, we won't be able to buy a home. We can't afford that right now. We won't be able to have children. That's an expense that we wouldn't be able to afford. So I would say the biggest things we've sacrificed is just the traditional family life. That's something that we're not sure if we'll ever get to experience. We've lived a very untraditional married life for 8 years, and although, I'm very, I've loved our time together, and it's been very hard. We've had a lot of challenges. We don't get to experience the things people our age are getting to experience. And the hardest thing for me is children, so.
The next step here is to deliver some of these insulin vials that we have created. So this is a vial of Humalog with the label taken off and a message inside. What we've done is we've said these are the things that we sacrifice for the cost of insulin. Nicole has brought some of Alex's ashes that are in one of these vials to show the sacrifice, the ultimate sacrifice that they made because he couldn't afford the insulin.
Alec was facing a cost of $1,300 a month for insulin and diabetic supplies. Alec worked full-time as a restaurant manager for a small family-owned company who did not provide health insurance for its employees. Alec made decent money, and because of this, he did not qualify for assistance of any kind. Not from the insulin makers, not from the state, and not from the federal government. Without anyone knowing, Alec began to ration his remaining insulin because at the time he went to the pharmacy, he did not have enough in his bank account to spend the $1,300 required. Alec began to adjust his diet, take less insulin than his body required to make it to payday. Alec's body was found 3 days prior to payday. Alec died from diabetic ketoacidosis due to a lack of insulin in his body.